Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and as you can see, we're back to a normal size canvas. Today we're going to do our standard painting size, and I think it should be a lot of fun. And of course, if you're enjoying this and looking forward to it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more painting videos. Let's get started. Now, as you can see, I spent just a couple seconds sketching in my little mountains up here. And now I have just a little soft yellow color, kind of a peach color actually, very soft, very pale. And I'm going to kind of work that right up in here. And it's okay if it mixes a little bit with the blue. Of course, I have a little clear gel and white on the sky like we usually do. There. Now, I'm not making a sunset or anything like that because then I'd be stuck with sunset colors and I don't want that today. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm just sort of warming up the sky. Makes it feel just a little nicer, kind of artsy, and that's about it. This is not like a sunset. I'm just warming up the sky is all. Next, I'll load our 3/4 brush here with a little bit of blue and white, and I mixed it right over that yellow just for fun. I like to do that. Kind of gives our painting a little bit of, well, kind of links it all together with one color, which is cool, you know. Kind of working one color into the next really makes your colors feel connected, and I like that a lot. There we go. All right, so now I'm just brushing this color over using my little 3/4 brush today, because it's not a very big sky area. If it was any bigger, I'd probably grab a brush that was larger, but you see how that sky is warm. That's nice, and I'm seeing that turquoise, certainly because we mixed over that other color, and I like it. A little bit of the blue from my sketch, we'll just work that right in. And I'm going to leave a lot of movement in this sky. There we go, a lot of brush strokes. Now I'm going to go ahead and just brush in what seems like some snow up here. I'm going to do a couple different shades of color, but it's all pretty much just a soft blue-gray color, again mixing over the same pile of paint. There, and I'm just doing the snow part first, kind of using my brush strokes as a little bit of a guide as for how this mountain is going to be shaped. See that? So in the middle, you just make your brush strokes go the way that you kind of want your mountain to go. And then obviously we'll create a better shape on the mountain with the rocks that are going to stick out. And it's very simple. We're talking about really not a lot of detail back here. There. All right, now we're going to go ahead and throw in our little rocks. You see, these are just simply the rocks that stick up and out over the snow. Pretty easy. Now, because these are rocks and not like a shadow or highlight, you can stick them on the outside edges because we're not highlighting, and we may not, we'll see. We'll just simply have to see how that goes. We may or may not highlight this. But the point is, because the reason we wouldn't is maybe because it's like flat and not catching any light, because it's kind of the light's strong from this angle, but maybe a little bit from behind. Boy, you could come up with all sorts of little ideas as to why things look the way they do. So for now, let's just not worry about any of that. Okay, so just sticking these rocks right in. Don't get anything symmetrical. And if you get tired of using this brush, because this is fairly large, you can actually grab your little detail round, which I probably will do as well. Now using the filbert brush up here, I'm going to start painting in what feels like grass. Now this mountain I did really the same way, except I eliminated the snow step. I just kind of scrubbed in some blue, a little green, a little yellow, and I just did those colors very quickly and randomly. Now I'm going to be a little bit more careful here as I block in what's going to feel like some meadow areas. There, not too much paint up here, otherwise you'll have a slippery mess. I may have just a little too much paint up there. We'll see. I'm not going to worry about it because it's easy fix. I'll just wipe it with a paper towel. But there. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Let's slice a little meadow right there behind the building. Yes, that'll look cool. Good stuff. You know, there. A lot of the little details are so fun to do. I'm going to leave that. I'm not done with it. I'll play around with it later. I just want to show you some other things back here. A little more of this color right back here. Let's start making, oh, that is so pretty. Yeah, let's start making a little bit of grass. Actually, I like that softer. I'm going to take some of that off with a paper towel so that I can have a softer effect, because I like that better. Oh yeah, this is cool. Don't go too far with this. Just maybe let it kind of, this is like a little valley I see right here. I'm going to run it right up. Now I'm going to go ahead and try a different way of painting trees. The reason is just because I want to. That's as simple as that. There we go. What I've got is got a soft peach color up here. And I'm just thinking maybe we could, because I want these trees a little different than normal. I want them extremely airy feeling, you know, like the trunks are really standing out. Like there's many layers of trees here, and each layer has very few leaves. Something like, you know, autumn. Now I went ahead and just took a couple minutes to paint in some evergreen trees, just with the little detail rounded scrubbing up and down. You guys have seen me do that before. Now right up here, I feel like we need to link the foreground with the background. Well, this is more the midground, but that's not the point. You see, it's very difficult sometimes to link those two areas other than just drawing across a straight line of trees, which I don't want to do. So right here, it feels like the trees are kind of wandering forward, but right over here, in order for this to make sense, and I actually played around with this even more, with the detail around to make it look a little better. In order for this all to look right, don't want to get it dead center. Let me maybe shift right over here. We need a couple of evergreens that poke out. You know, maybe this is a stand of those little autumn time trees, but we do need a couple of darker evergreens sticking out. That'll make it look more realistic and just simply better. That'll help to link the foreground and background areas. There we go. That's it. That's all it takes. Yeah, there we go. And I want to do these really quick and sparse, and no big deal, because maybe a little one right back here. This is a good spot for it, because I really don't want to detract from the pretty colors. I kind of like those soft, pretty colors. This just makes it look realistic. Next, I'm just going to throw on a whole bunch of color. And I know this is probably super strange looking, but I just want to have a variation of color. Now, you can do this whole thing with your filbert brush, and then this weird step is kind of unnecessary, but I don't want to do it all with my filbert brush because it's going to take forever. So this step is necessary. Okay, because what I want to have happen here is I want a lot of variation in color, because this landmass is so big. Ordinarily, who cares, but it's so big. You can ordinarily actually very easily just come in here and add extra color, but this time I'm going to just put the extra color in to begin with. Then I'm just grabbing my big brush. See, then you have blue spots and yellow spots, and melt it all together. See, it ends up just with a, you know, variation of brown, really. Some greens in there are great. And I just kind of, you know, planned out my painting. The areas that I wanted dirt, I put more of the brown. The areas that are closer, I put more red. The areas that have grass, obviously, the blues and the yellows. There. Very simple. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on our house up here. And I'm just blocking it in with soft colors. I don't want a lot of crazy colors just yet. I haven't even decided what kind of a house this is going to be, or cabin. Probably a little cabin up here. Haven't really given it a whole lot of thought. So maybe let's start thinking. Maybe it's like a log cabin, or we could do like boards or whatever. I think we might want to do a little rock chimney, probably behind, just sticking up. We'll see about that. And we might do a stone foundation, or we might not. Let's just play with it and see. I've got really no set ideas for how this needs to be shaped, and how we want to detail it out. I just had a placement for it, so it's kind of fun. We'll be a little more flexible today. There we go. And of course, the filbert can only get you so far here, so you want to change the detail around and clean up all these edges when we're done. There. But this is a good start, and it gets it done pretty quick. There. Now I'm going to go ahead and just add a little extra color up here to the top of the roof. What this is going to do is really just sparkle up this area and bring more interest to the spot. There you go. So I've decided to go with a metal roof, and I like those a lot because what they do is they reflect a lot of the colors. So, they just make for a very interesting thing to put in your paintings. See that? You can throw some browns in it, and obviously the base is kind of like that gray, and then you put a lot of blue for the sky, and maybe a warm light for some of the warm lights that we have. you can kind of go crazy with these metal roofs. That's why I really like them. But you can do whatever. You can do little shingles or whatever you want to do. This is fairly far away, so I don't want to go crazy with every single last detail in here. And this is more the shadow side, although the sun would be maybe coming over a little. This is more the shadow side, so I'm going to go with the cooler colors on this side and slightly darker maybe. And then on, on this side, up in this area, this needs to be brightened. So we can do that. There, see that? I love that. Fun. One of my favorite kinds of roofs to do for sure. Okay, let's grab a little lighter color and let's see what we can do about brightening this little area up a bit. Oh, look at the contrast. Yes. Now I'm going to go ahead and just carefully add in some more color. Carefully, because you see we did this very, very quickly and that was great. It worked out well, it was fast. But now that now the house is mostly done, I really want to come in here now and just add a little more color. Now if this gets to where it's kind of mixing too much, just wipe it with a paper towel, because remember we still have to highlight this. So that's the only kind of caution I would have for you, is just be careful you don't get a lot of sloppy wet paint down on here. Just look at just tiny, tiny, tiny bits. Okay, good. And see how I'm just sort of refining the colors? I went ahead and threw, when I was underpainting, I threw a little white down and let it pick up some of these colors. This is going to indicate water, and that's our underpainting for the water. So instead of try to get water over that dark, we can kind of get it over the light, which is going to be a little easier. Now, while I'm still got this color, I just want to add a little to this side as well. Now I want to add a little bit of bonus highlight up here, something that's just really nice and bright. Went ahead and just put a little bit of standard highlight, stuff that's kind of easy to do. Now I want to just take my detail brush and I want to create little pockets of light as we kind of imagine the light filtering through the whole scene. There's a little bit of dirt kind of showing through, of course a little light on the rocks. And we may want to go ahead and light those up just a little more, we'll see. Okay, so it comes, and maybe a little spot right there catches the light. Yes, nice. All right, so that's kind of the basic thought. Just do it a few more times here. And maybe just a little out here in this meadow, kind of the flatter area. Don't want to cover up all your darks, but it just really does add a little extra feeling of life, a little light down in here, because I want this to be a very bright area. There. Now I'm going to go ahead and take our filbert brush here and work up some color. Now I went ahead, you remember how we smooshed on the color a little while ago to underpaint? I did a similar thing just by adding a little dark and light. The dark was already there, but I added a little more to make it even darker. And now I'm just going to melt these colors together. Now there's a couple advantages to doing this. There's also some disadvantages, but a couple of the advantages is you can get really, really nice fluffy grass with vibrant colors. And you can do it in a way that's kind of rough, but not sloppy, rough. And it looks kind of, there, it looks kind of, I don't know, kind of free and impressionistic, and I like that look. A disadvantage with this would be you're not as in control, and it's very easy to get muddy here if you have a lot of paint. Now there are other ways when you just you don't do any underpainting at all and you just slap this stuff on. It can actually be even easier. So it just depends on how you layer the paint. There, and I like to kind of pick up some of the dark and bring it in. You can create the individual clumps of grass. You see how that works? See how that you can sort of separate them? Good. Now, I see a lot of yellow and I'm not seeing a lot of gold. So let's get some browns. And see, this is how I did it. I just tossed the color on like that, and then I just push it up. You can do this with a fan brush too. Usually I do. I'm not sure why I have the filbert in my hand, but kind of late to change now. There we go. See, I guess it doesn't matter. You can get a lot of nice effects with the filbert brush. It's a great brush, so give it a try. There. Now I'm going to go ahead and just place a little lonely tree up here. And I think what this will help to do is sort of frame in the painting on the right. because we have a lot of interest over in this area, right? On the left-hand side, we have a lot of interest in the mountain, more in the middle, and it goes up, which is always good. But I feel like we need a little extra something here to sort of keep our eye from spilling right off the right-hand side there. It's just not enough interest, so this will really help. And again, just the lonely tree, because this is more of an opening, but we can still, like a meadow, but we can still see the occasional tree. In the mountains, sometimes there's just one or two trees out in a meadow. That's kind of what we're going to represent here. There. Yes, I like it. Fun. Bring it all the way down to about here, so we'll just kind of get this in pretty quick. It also helps to kind of cover up where that river disappears. It was disappearing behind the rock fine, but it just helps to make it look that much better. Now to finish up this painting, I'm going to spend just a couple seconds here with the liner brush and a thin yellow color. There you go. And this is going to be just about all we need to sort of finish this thing up. Make it a little bit more detailed than it was already. Make it nice. There. Smaller strokes as you go back, but I do want a decent amount of these. They help to add quite a bit of extra detail and just that much more finished. Makes the whole painting look a little more refined. So just take a few minutes. They're not hard and they're kind of fun to do. There. Don't skimp out on the details. The details would bring your painting to the next level and make it look really professional. All right, well, I think we're done. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out our website, our DVDs, and also the brush line. Thanks for watching.